The armor you wear is the prison you live in. Welcome to Soft Girl Era, the sacred space where strong Black women unlearn survival, rediscover softness, and reclaim the joy, rest, and freedom they deserve without guilt, without apology, and without explanation. I'm your host, LeAnne Dolce, pronounced Dolce, like sweet softness whispered in French. I'm your guide from burnout to boundaries, from doing to being, from strong to soft, and loving every single second of it. Today, I had the incredible honor of sitting down with Jamila Lemons, a visionary leader, entrepreneur, and healer who is transforming the way Black women show up in business and in life. Jamila's work is nothing short of revolutionary. She's helping women shift from survival mode to sacred living, from hustle to wholeness, and from constantly proving their strength to finally embracing their softness. Her impact is profound, her wisdom is deep, and her message is one that every woman in this season needs to hear. She is changing lives, reshaping narratives, and reminding us all that our greatest power lies not in what we endure, but in what we allow ourselves to release. So let me ask you something. What if everything we've been taught about strength, about success, about what it means to be a powerful Black woman entrepreneur is actually holding us back? What if the very armor we've been wearing to protect ourselves is the same thing keeping us from the freedom, the joy, and the abundance we truly deserve? For decades, we've been told that strength means never showing weakness, that success means grinding until we can't anymore, that leadership means carrying everyone else's burdens while neglecting our own. We've been taught to be the strong friend, the dependable sister, the unshakable leader. We've been conditioned to believe that softness is a luxury we can't afford, that rest is for people who don't have as much on their plate, and that healing is something we'll get to someday when everything else is handled. But here's the truth Jamila Lemon shared with me, and it's a truth that will shake you to your core. Embracing softness and healing is not a retreat from power. It's actually a radical act of leadership and wisdom for Black women entrepreneurs. For so long, we've equated strength with constant resilience and self sacrifice. But true transformation and sustainable success come from allowing ourselves to rest, heal, and lead with compassion. This shift doesn't diminish our impact, it amplifies it, creating space for innovation, community, and authentic connection. Let that sink in for a moment. Softness is not weakness. Healing is not a detour. Rest is not laziness. These are the very things that will unlock the next level of creativity, strategic thinking, and joy in both your business and your life. And yet, so many of us are still running on fumes, still trying to prove we're worthy, still carrying capes we were never meant to wear. Jamila reminded me of three powerful truths during our conversation, and I want to share them with you now because they are the keys to stepping fully into your soft girl era. The first truth is this: softness is a source of wisdom, not weakness. Releasing the need to always be the strong one can unlock new levels of creativity, strategic thinking, and joy in both business and life. Think about it. How many decisions have you made from a place of exhaustion rather than inspiration? How many opportunities have you missed because you were too burned out to even see them? When we give ourselves permission to be soft, to be vulnerable, to be human, we create space for divine downloads, for clarity, for the kind of wisdom that only comes when we're still enough to hear it. We've been taught that vulnerability is dangerous, that if we let our guard down for even a moment, someone will take advantage of us, that if we admit we're tired, it will be seen as incapable. But the truth is, vulnerability is not a weakness, it's a doorway. It's the place where real connection happens, it's the space where innovation is born. And it's the foundation upon which sustainable success is built. When you stop operating from a place of proving and start operating from a place of being, everything changes. You stop chasing validation and start creating from a place of overflow. You stop competing and start collaborating. You stop surviving and start thriving. The second truth is about community over comparison. The so called comparison trap can undermine our confidence in collaboration. When we celebrate each other's wins and build from our unique visions, we all rise together. How often do we scroll through social media and feel like we're not doing enough, not moving fast enough, not successful enough? But here's what Jamila helped me see. When we shift from competition to collaboration, when we stop measuring our journey against someone else's highlight reel, we create a culture of abundance. We create space for everyone to win. And that, my sister, is where the real magic happens. We live in a world that profits from our insecurity, a world that wants us to believe there's only one seat at the table, only one way to succeed, only one version of beauty, intelligence, and power that's acceptable. But that's a lie. There are infinite ways to win. There are infinite expressions of success. And when we stop competing for crumbs and start building our own tables, we realize there's more than enough for all of us. Celebrating another woman's success doesn't diminish your own. Supporting another woman's vision doesn't mean you're abandoning yours. In fact, the opposite is true. When we lift each other up, we all rise. When we share resources, wisdom, and encouragement, we create a ripple effect that transforms entire communities. The third truth is this: healing and wholeness fuels sustainable success. Prioritizing emotional and spiritual healing empowers us to build businesses rooted in authenticity, resilience, and purpose, leading to greater impact for ourselves and our communities. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot lead from a place of brokenness and expect to build something whole. When we do the inner work, when we tend to our wounds, when we give ourselves permission to heal, we don't just change our own lives, we change the trajectory of our businesses, our families, and our communities. Healing is not a luxury, it's a necessity. It's not something you do when you have time. It's something you make time for because your life, your business, and your legacy depend on it. And here's the thing that nobody talks about: healing doesn't mean you're broken, it means you're brave enough to acknowledge that you've been hurt and wise enough to do something about it. Now, let me share with you three powerful examples of women who embody these truths, women who have turned their pain into purpose, their struggle into strength, and their healing into a legacy. First, there's Karen Washington. Karen was raised in the Bronx, where she witnessed food deserts and health disparities firsthand. She saw her neighbors struggling to access fresh, healthy food. She saw children going hungry. She saw families suffering from preventable diseases because they simply didn't have access to nutritious options. And she could have easily become bitter, burned out, or overwhelmed. But instead, she chose to heal, to build, and to create. Karen co founded the Black Farmers Fund, a groundbreaking initiative designed to address food access and equity in urban communities. But the road wasn't easy. She faced racial discrimination and systemic barriers in food policy. She was told no more times than she can count. She was dismissed, underestimated, and overlooked. But Karen didn't let that stop her. She built coalitions. She advocated for policy change. She created funding mechanisms to support Black farmers who had been shut out of traditional agricultural systems for generations. Today, her work has increased access to healthy food in underserved areas and supported countless Black farmers with resources and capital. Karen's leadership has transformed urban agriculture and inspired a new generation of Black women leaders in food justice. Her story is a testament to the power of embracing community, healing, and advocacy, and turning personal pain into collective empowerment. She didn't just see a problem, she became the solution. And she did it not by grinding herself into the ground, but by building something sustainable, something rooted in love and community. Then there's Maria Toller, the founder of Steel Sky Ventures. Maria launched a venture capital fund focused on women's healthcare, challenging a male dominated industry head on. She faced both racial and gender discrimination, and she had limited access to investment networks. The doors that should have been open to someone with her expertise and vision were slammed shut in her face. She was told that women's health wasn't a profitable investment. She was told that she didn't have the right connections. She was told that she should be grateful just to be in the room. But Maria didn't wait for a seat at the table. She built her own table. She leveraged her expertise and built strategic alliances to secure funding and champion underrepresented founders. She didn't just talk about change, she became the change. Today, Steel Sky Ventures has funded numerous women led startups, improving healthcare outcomes and representation. Maria's work is a model for how Black women can create new tables rather than fight for a seat at existing ones. Her story highlights the power of visionary leadership and the importance of creating supportive ecosystems for women's healing and growth. Maria understood something that many of us are just beginning to learn. You don't have to wait for permission to pursue your vision. You don't have to wait for someone to validate your worth. You don't have to wait for the perfect moment or the perfect circumstances. You just have to start. And when you do, when you lead from a place of authenticity and purpose, the right people, the right resources, and the right opportunities will find you. And finally, there's Lisa Price, the founder of Carol's Daughter. Lisa built a natural beauty brand from her kitchen to a nationally recognized company. She started by making products for family and friends, eventually gaining a loyal following through word of mouth. Lisa faced racial discrimination and struggled to secure funding in the beauty industry, but she focused on authenticity, using her story and community support to grow her brand. Carol's Daughter became a multi-million-dollar business acquired by L'Oreal and inspired countless Black women entrepreneurs. Lisa's journey demonstrates the transformative power of self belief, community, and embracing one's unique story. Her example reinforces the theme that softness, authenticity, and healing are powerful business assets. Lisa didn't try to be someone she wasn't. She didn't try to fit into a mold that was never designed for her. She showed up as herself, unapologetically, and the world responded. These women didn't succeed in spite of their softness. They succeeded because of it. They didn't build empires by grinding themselves into the ground. They built them by honoring their healing, by building community, by leading with authenticity and compassion. They understood that true power doesn't come from how much you can endure, it comes from how much you can release. It comes from your willingness to be vulnerable, to ask for help, to rest when you need to, and to lead from a place of wholeness rather than woundedness. So here's what I want you to take away from this conversation with Jamila Lemons. Your soft girl era is not about doing less, it's about being more. It's about releasing the cape, redefining strength, and embracing the truth that you are worthy of rest, of joy, of peace, and of success that doesn't cost you your sanity. It's about learning to say no without guilt, setting boundaries without apology, and resting without explanation. It's about healing in real time, protecting your peace as a practice, and turning your survival into something sacred and supportive for others. It's about recognizing that the armor you've been wearing to protect yourself has become the prison you're living in. And it's time to take it off. Because here's the thing, You were never meant to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. You were never meant to be strong all the time. You were never meant to sacrifice your joy, your peace, your health, or your sanity in order to be successful. You were meant to thrive. You were meant to flourish. You were meant to live a life that feels as good on the inside as it looks on the outside. And that starts with giving yourself permission, permission to rest, permission to heal, permission to be soft, permission to be human, permission to be exactly who you are without apology, without explanation, and without guilt. So here's my challenge to you. What would your business and your life look like if you gave yourself full permission to be soft, to heal, and to lead from a place of wholeness rather than survival? What if you stopped waiting for the perfect moment and started creating it right now? What if you stopped proving your worth and started living from a place of knowing you're already enough? This isn't just a thought experiment. This is an invitation to step into the life you were always meant to live, an invitation to release the cape, lay down the armor, and finally, breathe. Because the world doesn't need another exhausted, burned out woman trying to hold it all together. The world needs you whole, healed, and free. Starting today, I want you to take one bold step toward your soft girl era. Maybe it's saying no to something that drains you. Maybe it's asking for help. Maybe it's celebrating another woman's win without comparing it to your own journey. Maybe it's simply resting without guilt, without apology, without explanation. Whatever it is, do it. Because when you choose softness, you're not choosing weakness. You're choosing wisdom. You're choosing freedom. You're choosing the life you were always meant to live. The armor you wear is the prison you live in. It's time to take it off. It's time to be soft. It's time to be free. It's time to be unapologetically, beautifully, powerfully you.